The sun began to set as a group of adventurous campers rolled into the remote and eerie whispering forest, laughter and excitement ringing through the air. The foreboding trees twisted upward, their silhouettes darkening against the fiery sky, yet the campers were blissfully unaware of the ominous history that surrounded them. They set up their tents and unloaded their gear, sharing stories of their previous outdoor escapades. The flickering campfire illuminated their faces, casting shadows that danced playfully in the gathering dusk. As the sky transitioned into a deepening purple, they took turns recounting ghost stories, their voices dropping to hushed tones as they spoke of the lost souls who had wandered into these woods, campers who had vanished without a trace, leaving behind nothing but fading echoes of their laughter. Just as the mood began to shift from jovial to uneasy, a gentle rustling in the trees caught their attention, a soft whisper that seemed to beckon them from the depths of the forest. The campers exchanged nervous glances, a chilling realization settling in. They were not alone. It was as if the forest itself was alive, its ancient trees holding secrets far more sinister than they had anticipated. The laughter that once filled the air now felt fragile, overshadowed by the unsettling notion that the whispers were alive. The sounds intertwined with the wind, taking on the names of the campers, calling out with an eerie familiarity. One by one, they grew quieter, peering into the darkness, trying to discern the source of the spectral murmurs. Was it their imagination, or was there something watching them from the shadows? As the night deepened, an unsettling connection began to form for one camper in particular, Emma. She sat apart from the group, her heart racing as the whispers intensified, weaving around her like a chilling embrace. It was as if the forest recognized her, the name it called, her name, hanging in the air like a curse. She felt an inexplicable pull, a need to uncover the mystery that thrummed beneath the surface of this enchanting yet terrifying realm. As her friends continued to share stories, oblivious to her growing tension, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that the forest was waiting for something, waiting for her to respond to its call. The flickering flames cast long shadows, and the air grew thick with anticipation. What connection did she have to the dark secrets of this forest? With each rustle of leaves and whispered name, Emma sensed that she was about to find out, but at what cost? As night fully enveloped the whispering forest, a thick haze of tension blanketed the campers. They huddled around the flickering fire, trying to mask their rising fears with laughter and bravado, but the trees loomed ominously in the moonlight, their gnarled branches casting eerie shapes on the forest floor. The whispers, once mere rustlings, began to grow louder and clearer, each voice distinct as it weaved through the air. Names floated on the wind like ghostly caresses, and with every call, a chill crept down their spines. They exchanged uneasy glances, and the atmosphere grew heavier, thick with an unshakable sense of foreboding. It felt as if the forest itself was breathing, yearning to consume their fears and draw them into the depths of its dark embrace. One by one, the campers found themselves inexplicably enticed by the whispers, those sweet and sorrowful calls luring them to the forest's edge as if under a spell. Their instinct to stay together battled against the primal urge to answer the haunting beckon. Sarah, usually the boldest among them, stood transfixed, her heart racing with both terror and curiosity. "It's just a trick of the wind," she whispered, desperately trying to convince herself as she stepped closer, her footfalls soft on the damp ground. The trail to the trees, once a path of adventure, now appeared sinister and inviting. The other campers watched as, one by one, they succumbed to the call, drawn into the shadows beyond the firelight, leaving behind only hesitant murmurs and a palpable sense of dread. Then, in a moment that seemed to stretch into infinity, one of the more reluctant members of the group, Mark, made his decision. Uttering a shaky breath, he ventured nearer, his form swallowed by darkness as he disappeared into the silent world of whispering treetops, leaving his friends paralyzed with fear. Instantly, the air grew colder, and the whispers intensified, a cacophony echoing through the forest as it revealed its secrets to those brave enough or foolish enough to listen. The remaining campers could feel the weight of eyes from the shadows, urging them to follow, to join their vanished friend in the haunting depths of the unknown. Their hearts hammered in unison as they stood at the precipice between safety and the allure of the forest, each whisper becoming more insistent, leaving them wondering what fate awaited Mark, what truths lurked just beyond their sight, and if they could resist the gravitational pull of the trees that seemed to crave their very essence. Panic surged through the remaining campers as they frantically called out for Mark, their voices echoing in the stillness of the whispering forest. The comfortable camaraderie they once shared now felt like a distant memory, overshadowed by a creeping dread that wrapped around them like a vice. Each rustle of leaves and every whispered name felt like a taunt from the unseen, as if the trees were relishing their fear. As the sun fully sank behind the horizon, darkness crept in, amplifying their anxiety and pushing them deeper into madness. The forest, once merely an adventure spot, transformed into a treacherous labyrinth where every turn felt twisted with malice, and the weight of the whispers pressed heavily on their minds. As the night wore on, the whispers began to evolve, each syllable growing sharper, more accusatory, as if revealing their innermost insecurities. Sarah, who had always been the strongest, suddenly found herself haunted by the specter of her failures, visions of her past mistakes playing out before her eyes. Dave, once carefree, was plagued by shadows of loneliness that closed in around him, each whisper reminding him of the friends he had lost before. The atmosphere thickened with mistrust and suspicion as personal anxieties manifested into vivid hallucinations, twisting their perceptions of reality. The very essence of their friendships frayed as they struggled to differentiate between friend and foe, each camper's mind a battleground manipulated by the insidious power of the forest. The relentless whispers became a cacophony of chaos, each voice vying for dominance, designed to unearth their deepest fears and insecurities. The once joyful crackle of the campfire turned into an ominous crack, a reminder of the fragile sanity teetering on the brink of collapse. Frantic eyes searched the darkness, and mistrust simmered underneath every whispered name that floated through the trees. The campers felt as if they were being observed, almost studied, by an unseen entity that thrived on their despair. In this already volatile environment, the question loomed large: who would be the next to succumb to the forest's sinister charm? With each passing moment, the line between reality and madness blurred, drawing them ever closer to an uncertain and terrifying fate, leaving viewers gripped with disbelief at the psychological unraveling unfolding before them. With time slipping away and the atmosphere thick with despair, the remaining survivors huddled together, fueled by a gripping combination of fear and determination. They knew they had to confront the manifestation of their worst nightmares if they were ever to escape the clutches of the whispering forest. The chilling whispers had twisted their perception of reality, further enticing them to abandon hope. As they whispered amongst themselves, crafting a desperate plan, every flutter of leaves felt like a warning from the forest, reminding them that it was always watching, always waiting for them to falter. Was it truly possible to escape this supernatural predator, or were they simply prolonging their doom with each agonizing moment they spent within its confines? Each step forward seemed to ensnare them in an ever-tightening grip as the trees conspired against their escape. Paths that were once familiar twisted into unfamiliar trails, leading them deeper into the heart of darkness. Dread hung in the air like fog, each breath feeling heavier under the weight of their oppressive surroundings. The cacophony of whispers grew louder, each voice weaving in and out, exploiting their vulnerabilities, taunting them with dark promises. Just when the tension reached a breaking point, a breakthrough flickered in the midst of chaos. One of the campers, Emma, suddenly realized that the whispers were not just entities of dread, they were reflections of their fears, each sound revealing an inner truth. Understanding this revelation became their lifeline, a glimmer of hope nestled within despair. With newfound insight, the survivors rallied, transforming their fear into defiance. They raced through the forest, battling against both the sinister elements and their inner demons. Their breaths quickened, hearts pounding as they navigated the treacherous terrain, each whisper feeling like a claw grasping at their minds. As they neared the forest's edge, a shocking choice emerged that would determine their fate: to confront the darkness within them or to surrender their fears and the forest's insidious grasp. In a heart-stopping climax, they had to decide whether to sacrifice a part of themselves to break free or embrace the chilling secrets that the forest harbored. The tension couldn't be greater as viewers are left breathless, wondering who will emerge victorious against the depths of their own shadows and what the ultimate cost of their escape might be, not just for themselves, but for the whispering forest as well.